Hello, I'm Bernard Keavy. How to double your sales. There's a simple model here which works, and will make a big difference to anyone who's not currently using it. So the first thing we need to understand is what's called a pain funnel. And the pain funnel is what motivates people to buy. And the danger is that if we don't get deep enough down into the pain funnel to find out what the real problem and issue is, the real concern is that will make someone buy, then the response we get tends to be, well, I'll think about it, or I'm not interested at the moment. So the way we do this, we have to realise that basically what people's needs or pain is, the thing that will motivate them to buy, is a bit like an iceberg. Only the tip is above the water, but the most important bits are down here below the water. And in order to find out what this pain is here that will motivate people to buy, and bear in mind pain is twice as important as pleasure, so it tends to be it's a problem or an issue or a concern that they've got that they haven't got a solution to. That's far more important than some sort of benefit that they can aspire to. So we need to find out what that pain or issue is, and the way we do it is by asking the right questions. Now the interesting thing is that most people who've been trained in sales know all about asking open questions compared to closed questions, and the idea is that you ask more open questions at the start to find out what people are thinking, the who, why, what, where, when, etc. But then you narrow it down to closed questions to get more specific. But actually there's a lot more to it than that. And Neil Rackham in his book Spin Selling talks about 4 types of questions, which is spin, and that's the situation, the problem, the implications, and then the needs payoff. In other words, what it's worth to solve it. So as an example, the initial question could be, tell me about your sales process. So that would be situational. And the answer could be, well, I haven't really got one, to be honest. And the temptation then would be to think, right, so now we know what your pain point is. Well, I could sell you, I could help you with that. And the answer would be, well, I need time to think about it, or I'm not really ready to buy. So then it's the next level down is problem. So tell me about your sales process. Well, I haven't really got one. So, well, is that a problem? And you think, well, I could probably improve my level of sales if I had one. Okay, well, maybe I can help you with that. But you're still only just getting below the waterline. You need to dig deeper. You need to ask questions like, tell me more, or how do you mean? So for instance, it would be something along the lines of, so how much more business do you think you could have if you had a proper sales process? Is there any evidence? Have you got any idea as to how much business it's costing you? How much do your competitors get from you that maybe you could get if you had a proper sales process? And tell me more, and how do you mean? And the idea is that we're digging down here, below here, to find out the full implications of this problem. And then when we've really got to where we think is the deepest we can get, we then need to work out, well, what would it be worth to you to solve that problem? How much business extra do you think you could write if you did have this proper sales process in place? And that's the needs payoff. And once you've got there, you've then got a chance of selling, because now there's a benefit that you can quantify, and you can actually structure your benefit statements in such a way that they're particularly and uniquely relevant to this particular customer or client. So it all comes back to this inverted sales model, which is basically the modern way of looking at sales, which effectively says there's 4 elements. First of all, it's rapport and trust. You need the trust element because everyone's initial thing is fear, because the primitive brain kicks into action quicker, and that's the fight and flight bit of the brain. So the first thing is people are afraid of being sold to. So Big Al, Tom Schreiter, refers to the salesman alarm. As soon as they think you're trying to sell them something, they're not interested. So you have to get this rapport and trust bit right, and that's 40% of the process. Then you need to find out what their needs are, which is this spin selling process, the iceberg process here, the pain funnel. That's 30%, to find out what it is that's the problem that they've got, and how important it is to them, and how important it would be to get that solved. Then you can present, which is 20% of the process, and then the close should almost become inevitable, which is 10%. So these 2 are the most important bits, and the way you get there is by eliminating fear. So you establish rapport so that you don't put up the salesperson alarm, and then you ask the right sort of questions to dig deep to actually prove that you're interested in them and you're listening, etc., etc. So spin selling: situation, problem, implication, needs, payoff. And if you follow those guidelines, that will definitely improve your level of sales if you're not currently doing that. I mean, if you are, that's fine, but a lot of people probably aren't doing this as well as they could. So that's Bernard Keevy. I hope you found that interesting. If you did, if you could like it and share it, I'd be very grateful. Thank you very much for watching. I'm looking to recruit a business coach in order to help me handle existing global demand for business coaching services. And in particular, I'm looking for someone to run our Northeast US division. If you're interested in finding out more about this opportunity, which involves absolutely no financial risk or upfront investment, then go to coachforprofit.com/Bernard, watch a short 8-minute video, and if you think there's anything of interest there, then book a time and let's talk. And thank you very much for showing interest in this opportunity.